Hello, and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to go over some Hatred. Hatred's not really a great spec to play, but when there's no healers, it can excel pretty well. The main reason for that is that dots on Hatred are actually pretty strong. And you do have some bursts with the 1 second eradicate, and your death fields are pretty lethal, especially if people stack up. However, anytime there's a healer in the match, your effectiveness goes down quite a lot. The main reason for that is that you're more so a liability when there's just healers in general. No matter healing is really going to save you. You're not a durable class. You're probably never going to be a durable class. Hatred's never been known for its durability. So it's like a glass cannon, but even further so. And since it's a dot spec, it does require some sort of uptime, so you have to actually get dots and targets. And for the most part, the 1 second eradicate definitely makes that possible. So you can play it a little bit more like a burst spec, which is quite nice, and main reason why it's currently working the way it is. I've also played Hatred for an extremely long time, so for the most part, it's just all natural to me. Not something I would recommend, but if there is a situation where you know that you're probably not going to be targeted or you're not going to be a priority target, it is a great spec to play. This happens that I end up becoming a good target here. They try to go me, and that's totally fine. I end up typing in chat only to try to persuade them. I'm only joking here too. I know that text it's really hard to display sarcasm, but I really just want to persuade them to not hit me, even though, like, objectively speaking, it's very bad for them to do so. I'm a decent target, but unless they catch me with a net, I'm not really gonna die. And I end up missing my death field because for some reason when you phantom strike to somebody, it kind of just sends your first death field. Like if you're still in animation of moving, the auto drop death field kind of just mess up. I forgot that was a thing, so completely missed my death field. But that's fine for the most part. He already pops his net like right away. Like I am a squishy class, but I am not that squishy. I did pop pretty much everything I have, but I'm not that squishy that you can just net me at like 80% and think that I'll be killed. Maybe if the other two players are on me at the same time, sure, but for the most part, I opened up while my team also opened up, so we were both split, so that was kind of just a more so safe bet for me. And also, thankfully for Hatred is really good at hitting Mercenary and just in general dealing with classes that can't get rid of the dots. Its DPS on a target is pretty good. And then obviously I tell them, yeah, I am a good target. I'm obviously only saying that because I want them to know that, you know, I'm being sarcastic. I'm obviously a good target. And the only issue is that you have to have enough damage to actually take it down. Which they almost had, but, you know, with 2 stealths you can kind of not mess that up. But anytime, yeah, healers are in the game, it just kind of like becomes a lot harder. Tanks are actually really great, especially if they actually give you guard. If they don't give you guard, it's horrible, but if they give you guard, it's pretty good. Obviously there are better specs that get guard, so for example, Juggernaut sometimes is better. And then there's also times where AP or tactics is just so much better. Honestly, if you could consistently get guard, I would say Combat Sentinel and APPT are probably like some of the best specs to play. So in a situation, I see the Vanguard just sitting in spawn. I kind of want to engage separately, but at the same time, I don't really want the Vanguard to nuke my health before my team is even there. So I'm just waiting for him to get closer and engage on him. So he pops his thermal on me a little too soon and far too predictable, so I just shroud that. And in this situation, I see that I can cleave. Unfortunately for me, there's a lot of defense chance in this match between the rest of the players in this game, outside of the Vanguard. So I'm like quite literally missing my last rate over and over and over and over in this situation. It'd be much better for me to just try to spam Death Field and redot manually because, you know, obviously deflection is defense chance, saber ward, so on and so forth. I still end up winning, but that last rating was, you know, completely pointless. I think I missed every single last rate that I tried to do there, which sucks. And had I just used Death Field, it probably would have been a lot better. That is the situation with some of the specs I like to play. A lot of them are white damage, and when things are like deflection, saber ward, and evasion, my effectiveness goes down like a lot, which sucks. Trying to play combat when everybody's playing like lethality, like Marauder, sometimes Juggernaut, and a lot of sins, like they have deflection, saber ward, evasion, all these things that are just not possible for me to do any damage through. This round's a little bit better, but we really shouldn't be sitting here like cleaving each other. This person says that he had like a lag spike or something. I don't get that. I know that it's Arena and it should run better for most players, but that's crazy. I assume that they probably are playing in the what's the mode called? Power Saver mode. And probably just had a FPS spike because of that, which, you know, would make sense. But other than that, I don't think that's too common. But we'll take it because he didn't really actually off any abilities while he was guarded and standing there, which is weird enough as it is. I don't think he would intentionally do that, so. Then obviously, in matches like this, it's all about damage. Like, the only reason that you'll really like get anywhere is because of damage and your ability to like taunt. Your taunting ability is one of the main core aspects that you bring, but at the same time, you also have damage, and you have a lot of it, especially if they don't have like defensives that will kind of counteract your damage. So for example, like damage reduction defenses are really good against hatred, and like purges, like evasion. And then when it comes to cleaving, like deflection and saber ward is really not great for hatred. Obviously Death Field is pretty good, but if you compare our team versus their team, for the most part, it is similar both ways. However, I would probably rather hit our team, as we have a Juggernaut on our team. And unfortunately we're everywhere, but this is kind of good for us because I'm able to get spreads on everybody, get damage going, and most of everybody ends up popping all their stuff just because they get cleaved so hard, which is great for us. I also noticed that there's a situation too, for players that don't know any better, when a priority target needs to die, even if they get guard, you should still be trying to control them, and you should still be trying to kill them. So the way that guard works is it splits 50% damage to the tank. You will kill the tank outright by just tunneling into guard. You're a spec like Arsenal, which I had to like write a paragraph yesterday. It was kind of crazy. If you're playing Arsenal, don't hit a PT tank, and most definitely don't hit a PT tank that's running defense chance. It's just terrible. You're not doing any damage. Hit into the person that's guarded. Other than that, I'll catch you guys again in the next video.